I've played No Man's Sky for about 4 hours, so my mind.
Are you still into it? How much have you played so far?
A lot.
You've been at work.
I know the feeling.
Today I discovered a planet that had some kind of iridescent pearls that sold for lots of money.
So you were mining that planet.
I spent about 3 hours just because you couldn't stack them as well, because a lot of the elements you can stack, so you can get 500 units of. These you couldn't stack, so you had singular
units.
So my pack could only carry about 17 at a time.
So you did it.
I was
Go on your ship. Went to the trading post.
It was I found a trading post that was next to a cave. So I'd walk into the cave, get 17, come out, go to the trading post, sell it, walk past the bit I'd done in the cave, found another 17, come back.
After they'd already spawned and kept disappearing as you came.
They spawned, so I went up to them, and then
they disappeared.
They were still there.
Oh,
so you opened them, but then I couldn't access them. So I had to remember which ones I'd already done.
I see.
But then the cave split off into several places, and then
every
lost. Time you picked up, because they're like a rare element, every time you picked it up, it alerted the sentinels.
Oh yeah.
So I was either so deep underground that they couldn't find me, or that I was close to the ground that they kept attacking me. So then I was having to stop to shoot them. And... So yeah, that's my day. That's my productive afternoon.
So sentinels only attack if you're like mining rare elements on them.
No, different planets have different.
If you
levels
mine too
of
much
sentinel.
as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you do too much, they start to get annoyed with you for some reason.
Yeah.
Because you're taking all the resources.
Because certain planets have like extreme sentinels, but then that usually means there's something good on the planet, much like the pearls that I found today.
Well, there we are.
So I started off with something like 200,000. I've now got about 7 million credits. But my next ship upgrade is going to cost me 8 million. So all of that.
Can't you just like buy another ship?
Yeah, it's going to cost me 8 million.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Delightful.
You can't upgrade individual ships with extra slots. You have to
buy a new ship.
And the next good one.
I watched my nephew play it this weekend when I went up to see him. Oh. I was just like, oh okay, oh yeah, there's a ship there. Okay, he's got more slots and stuff. Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool. Yeah, that's all it is. You're just accumulating money to get better ships to go deeper into space.
Yeah,
in hopes of finding
to
more
the centre.
Shit. Yeah.
And what's at the centre?
Yeah.
That's
caramel.
It's just. I'll tell you what it is. It's a loading screen and it says the end.
It's the credits, basically. That's what it is. Yeah. You never see the credit screen until you get to the centre of the universe.
It's a picture of a dick butt.
Yeah. Sorry, Princess Peach is in another castle.
Do you want me to skip the introductions? Or should we introduce...
Hello and welcome to GeekStack.
You can do it. You can do the introduction part because you love it. Look at Tom, he's so upset.
I hate cold opens.
Yeah.
We're so close to not having one.
Well, you need to say our names anyway, don't we?
No, we don't.
Why not?
We did it last week.
You need to introduce everyone because there might be a new person listening every week.
Yes, but how we introduced ourselves.
There will be. For the future, it's habit.
How we introduced ourselves last time was Tom saying everyone's name.
Tom.
Tom.
Watch.
Why can't we just?
Owen.
Why can't we just edit in some like?
You want names? Okay, when Tom says Tom, I'll put Tom and you can move across and go Tom, and then watch Owen.
Just some word.
I'll put something in, okay, just to please you.
So that's Owen speaking right now. This is what I'm going to do.
Just to please you.
That's Owen.
Cool. Right.
That's Holly laughing.
He's laughing.
First Tom laughing now. I was waiting for him to say something, but it was...
First topic, the Olympics.
Really?
Olympics!
Yeah.
Olympics! I love Olympics.
Yeah,
First topic is Olympics.
Well, apparently we haven't given a shit since it was in London, so...
I quite like Beijing.
Before recording this, we watched, about 2 minutes of the Olympics?
2 minutes.
It's not actually the Olympics. Okay. Alright. This is me making a joke of
okay.
Basically...
It's an avenue into...
What it is that in the shooting at the Olympics... Vatalina Bacharashkina.
to Rashkina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
A
you couldn't have
19-year-old
you couldn't have learned that before we started recording.
No, definitely. It needs to be me trying it
Yeah,
on the
to type it
podcast.
out.
Yeah.
That's enough.
I was going to say,
No,
write it down
copy
phonetically,
paste
sure.
You mean
From the news
the
article.
avid gamer girl who...
That's what it says
she,
this is.
Is she the...
Oh, she had the Witcher
She's
thing.
not the American one.
No, she's Russian.
She's
but
Russian.
Yeah.
You noticed on news
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, she had a little keychain or something for the Witcher logo.
Mm-hmm.
She won silver earlier this week in the 10-meter air pistol. So basically, like, what the discussion is around is that have video games reached a point to be taken out of the nerdy realm and into the general population in terms of the inherent stigma of introvert people traditionally playing video games because it's indoor activity, and then sort of, you know, news victimizing video games whenever bad things happen and things like that. Discuss.
Is this like, should video games be an Olympic sport?
No, not well. No, that's another question entirely. That isn't it? You know.
Yeah, it's the dance
Actually, that's a third topic.
I
So
think-
save that.
I think they've got their own sort of competitions and whatever. And if the competitions go mainstream, I wouldn't force it on
But
the viewing populace
No.
of the
In
BBC.
terms of video games coming out
Postponing
of the whole sort of maybe even like its infancy and things like that, because I mean video games are coming more mainstream to the point where when the video games hit that level of it's, you know, you go watch a film. Films have become mainstream to the point where they're like, just that's it, people accept them as a normal thing, whereas video games I think are still a little bit niche, even though they are becoming more mainstream.
They are still a little bit niche, but then they've become a lot more easily accessible, especially with like price drops in consoles. Like you can get the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One for like 250 quid or something, and for a lot of people that is a lot of money, but for some it's only a couple months saving up.
But that's nothing compared to when we were growing up, the Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, all the little handheld ones. There's no real equivalent.
That's a whole other
I
avenue.
suppose
Of,
It is, yeah,
yes,
but-
it's like
But
then-
I would argue it's less accessible.
Well, going back to saying it's more accessible, how many free games do you have on your phone?
You have a point.
And everyone has an iPhone because
well,
who the fuck would buy a
it's gone
Samsung?
to the point
It's
of, you know, is the middle-aged housewife that plays Candy Crush, does she count as a gamer now? Because that is playing a game.
That is
But
a game.
there have been articles published that say, well, actually, you can count them as gamers because they are
They're
in
playing
the
a
process of gaming. But yeah, that's a whole other avenue as well.
I mean, if middle-aged housewife Sandra with her 2 kids who always complain to the manager, if she wants to call herself a gamer, then I'm going to argue that because I hate
you're
that.
going to argue.
Yeah.
You don't want her in the same
No,
group.
Sandra,
No.
you're not.
because someone who gets to level
You're-
150 on fucking Candy Crush who then looks down at me when I'm walking through the centre of town
Playing
playing
Pokemon.
Pokemon Go, that's not the same.
No.
She
But
she just does it because her life is unfulfilled.
Yeah.
Like her marriage. I'm in a really dark place today.
This
She hasn't.
I think you're digging a hole for yourself
Yeah, I
here
think
almost,
so.
because weren't you discussing earlier about how you were playing No Man's Sky today and just sort of like getting virtual pearls and just going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth?
Yeah, but No Man's Sky is good.
So you were doing that because it was fun
Yeah.
for you. So you don't think she's doing it because she enjoys it?
Yeah, but
Honestly,
this,
that's
that's not the question, though.
This person that we've made up for
Yeah.
Sandra.
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 Yeah, Sandra.
Damn you, Sandra.
So Sandra is doing it because her life is unfulfilled rather than because she enjoys it.
No, I was just going on a fucking tangent. I was trying to
reminds
make
me-
comedy out of my morose level that I'm apparently on. Apparently
It
didn't
reminds
work,
me
so-
of that the video where Penn Jillette was on that talk show with the women, and they were bashing video games, and they were talking about Call of Duty, and I'm not a fan of Call of Duty. I wouldn't play it for fun or otherwise, but
Have you tried it?
yes, I have. I've played that with Jake.
Alright then.
But I played and watched it happen. But you know, they were saying, "Oh yeah, video games makes people violent. Video games does this." It's like, well, if you're sitting in your house doing it, you know,
You're not.
you're not
You're
out
not-
being
you're not out.
violent.
You're not out with those.
But it
Those
doesn't.
guns
It
that
doesn't.
you-
You know, someone this is a whole other tangent, but someone with those tendencies already has those tendencies, whether or not they play video games.
Yes.
But that's going into the realms of people who don't really understand what gaming
But if it
is
becomes
and...
more mainstream, maybe it will become more accepted then, in a sense.
So when does the casual and the, not necessarily hardcore, but the casual and the gamer meet? Where's that meeting point? Because I know I don't mean to focus on Candy Crush, but Candy Crush is a very casual game. Farmville, very casual game. Facebook, that kind of thing. And the addictive, designed to be addictive.
Yeah. It depends how many hours a day or a week you play it.
How much time do you dedicate to it?
Things like Farmville or The Sims Social or stuff like that, they're Simpsons, Family Guy, they all have the mini games, but they're time kind of sensitive. So you do a mission, you can't do something else for another 10 hours. Whereas, so then that's how they keep you hooked in, because you're checking it every now and then to do the missions or whatever. Whereas gaming, obviously, it's completely open.
You can do as much as you want, as little as you want. Yeah.
I think it's, do you do it because you've got a few minutes and you're bored, or you're on your lunch and you've got your phone and you may as well, or do you do it because you have a genuine passion and you're waiting until that moment you can get home and sit down and play it?
So, like, the comparison between watching a film just because it's on TV versus getting up your arse and going to the cinema.
And actually going,
Yeah, so because you watch the rerun of Back to the Future 2 on ITV2 for the 6 millionth time, doesn't make you a fan of the Back to the Future franchise because it's just on in the background.
Whereas if you go to the castle to watch it...
Yeah, whereas if there's a 30-year screening of it, then you're going to...
2! We went to the cinema the week before to watch all 3.
Yeah.
And then we went to watch the first one in the...
Yeah, it was good, that was.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Luna Cinema, want to sponsor us?
Wow. a bit early to try and ask for sponsors, isn't it?
Why not?
Episode 3.
Let's just chuck something in every week, just be like Domino's.
Well, come September podcast, we would have gone to another one, so...
Oh, yeah. Also September, Eurogamer as well.
What's in September?
Oh, we're going to watch Dirty Dancing.
One of the films I will never ever watch.
Yeah,
I don't understand why either, because it's
just one of those...
My nephew was like that this weekend as well. We were watching Grease Live on Netflix.
Yeah.
And Vicky, my sister... More tangent.
Yeah.
She was like... She said, this is one of my films of my youth. She went to watch it in the cinema and everything. She was like, Dirty Dancing. I was like, oh my god, Dirty Dancing is awesome. She says, Elliot, we'll watch that. Yeah. I said, why not? And he's like, don't watch it. It's a good film. It's not a good chick flick. It's a good film.
It's one of those things that just doesn't interest me in the slightest. Like Narnia and.
But he likes chick flicks.
He's
not a shy away.
No, I'm a fan of a chick flick. But it's just one of the same with The Sound of Music. In no way
I don't want to watch that.
Interests me in the slightest. So it's just like, well, why should I
waste? Nazis in it, man. Come on.
Everything has Nazis in it nowadays. Christ, there's...
Yeah, but it started it.
Indiana Jones, World War II.
It started the Nazis.
Yeah, it started the Nazis. Sound of Music started.
Battlefield.
I thought we were still talking about Dirty Dancing. That kind of thing.
Did anyone catch the
No one put the baby in the corner. 9!
No.
Okay.
No, it's not 9, it's 10 to 8.
Yeah, 10 to 8. Second thing I have, Star Wars Rogue One trailer.
Yes.
Which we didn't get to see last week because we filmed it right
before
it came out. You guys watched it?
Yes.
You haven't watched it, have you?
No, I've been working.
But this is the person who doesn't watch trailers anyway.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, not too big on trailers.
No.
So you might have a strong opinion about this. How far in advance should teasers or trailers be released for films? And how much should be shown in those teasers/trailers?
The Victorian ankle versus the full-blown wide shot. Yeah.
Do you see do you see that? Or do you see the knee? Do you see the thigh?
I don't think.
Do you see the full package?
The week before, you don't want to see the full package, do you?
No.
So there's no point. You should always be at ankle stage.
Is there any?
You should flirt. It's the flirting and then take to dinner and then.
Well, I think sticking with Star Wars Force Awakens was a very good example of well marketed. Because obviously they didn't want to reveal everything in the trailer, so they released one a year beforehand, which all of us went fucking crazy over.
Which I think is fantastic.
And then there was one closer to the time, which still didn't reveal that much, which was brilliant. So
It's like a second teaser at that point.
So I understand why that's a good idea, but then you look at things like 10 Cloverfield Lane, which had one trailer and
It came out like a month before it was out, and we didn't even realise it was going to happen.
Yeah, and that was fantastic
fantastic.
because again, it didn't tell you anything that happened in the film.
So it depends on the film.
I think most movies should have that element of mystery.
Yeah. Well, if you look at like trailers from movies in like the 70s, like the original Alien trailer, it was the tag. It was like going through space, the tagline, and then I think there was like an egg in it, but that was Oh, I think it was the egg opening up, but that was it.
Yeah.
And it was like.
But that's the teaser. That wasn't the trailer. There was then a trailer which had like the scenes and stuff from the film. But I think like the things have come along since then, and those sort of like you can just show a little bit of something in the title are kind of gone to the wayside. Although, like you said, Cloverfield did it. You know, with like just the train crash. Star Trek's teaser, the reboot of Star Trek, just had some like scenes of the ship getting built with some sort of like talking about going into space and stuff like that. But yeah, I agree that sort of like you need to have that build up, like the marketing sort of.
But then it depends on which area you're in, because like that now with the internet, obviously we get access to every single trailer. The international trailers, because they're appealing to a wider audience, that's where you tend to get the spoilers. So in the 10 Cloverfield Lane, it revealed the ending of the film in the international trailer. I'm guessing, well, not guessing, based on what I've read, Star Trek Beyond did exactly the same. The international trailer spoiled the ending.
Have you seen the international trailer for Rogue One?
No. Is there an international trailer for Rogue One?
There is an international trailer for Rogue One.
Is that the one that got released?
No.
Right, okay.
There's another one.
Oh.
And it follows the same route. It doesn't spoil something, because officially I think it has been released through official channels, so then it's not really... how do you classify a spoiler? If something's being released through official channels, that's technically not a spoiler then,
well,
is it?
They're spoiling it
technically
for themselves.
If it's been announced, but then if it isn't like part of a twist, like the thing with Cloverfield Lane and with Star Trek Beyond, the endings were massive twists.
Yeah.
Well, the Star Trek Beyond, kind of. But it was... Like, we all saw it coming. But it was...
Don't Shyamalan it.
Yes. That was the good thing about the Shyamalan films, was that no one knew... Well, the first ones, anyway. No one knew...
Correct.
Although his most recent one... Have you seen The Visit?
No.
Fuck.
Is that the one with the
I've started
people?
watching
Yeah.
Visit.
Yeah, that was
I
actually
really
good.
like that.
Yeah, that was...
That's what they need to do. Give him low budget.
Well, have you seen...
And,
he's got... His next film is essentially James McAvoy's acting reel, because he's playing a split personality serial killer.
Yes,
I've seen
I saw the
that,
trailer
yeah.
for that.
So it's him with, I think, 12 or 13 different personalities.
You didn't see it, because you don't have James.
But that's going off on a tangent. What was I saying? Yeah, so...
Shyamalan.
something about twists.
Don't Shyamalan it.
Don't put the twists in.
So
You can put
spoilers.
surprises in, maybe,
So,
is it?
in the trailers, if they include the twists, that's supposed to end the film, then that's a bit shit. But then if they include information which they release which doesn't really impact the film in any way, then that's fine.
What if it's something that, like, I mean, the Rogue One trailer, the Rogue One film, sorry, we don't really we know the plot of the film, but we don't really know the characters in the film at the moment, and like how they interact with each other and everything. So, like, in the international trailer, there's a very clear, this is going on. By the way, this is a connection between two characters here.
Right.
I don't know whether that's meant to be a spoiler.
There's been... Does it involve Mads Mikkelsen, who played... he was...
Who's he?
I'm trying to... He was the bad guy in Casino Royale. Played Hannibal.
No, it's just Darth Vader and everyone. Everyone's got a relationship with Darth Vader.
Oh, they're all Skywalkers. No, because Mads Mikkelsen, he's also the bad guy in the upcoming Doctor Strange film. But he reveals something at Comic-Con which was supposed to be kind of kept secret.
Oh, okay. I thought that was officially released then.
Well, no, it was him. It was either at Comic Con.
We're talking in such
yes,
vague terms right now to make sure we don't spoil anything. But
it was either in a Comic Con or in an interview, and he essentially, someone asked him, "Can you give us a bit of information about your character?" And he essentially he didn't say what the thing was, but then from what he said, it was kind of obvious.
Yeah. So
his role within the film.
Ian McShane in Game of Thrones.
No, that not to that. Well, the fact
well,
that
actually, yeah,
well,
it's a similar thing.
I'm only in one episode, so yeah, I'm probably gonna know.
But then the fact that
Well,
he
revealed that he brought a character back, but everyone thought he brought Jon Snow back, obviously.
Okay.
But then he.
We're waiting past that now. We're nearly at Bake
Off. But he was only contracted for one episode anyway, so everyone kind of figured out.
Yeah.
But okay, so spoiler because it's trying to talk in fucking riddles and everything else. Mads Mikkelsen is going to be the father of the main character.
Yes.
That's what's revealed in the international trailer? Okay.
Yeah, it's not really a spoiler though.
Yeah, but
yeah, I mean, some people would consider that like, oh, I'd rather find that out during.
As long as it's not a Darth Vader moment. Luke,
yeah.
No,
guess what? I'm his father. I created him using the Force.
It's like trailers now are. How much can we get away with showing you? Should we show the whole film? Should we show like the 10 funny bits? We've covered this before. You know, it's like Bridget Jones's baby. The fact that she's having a baby at all is fantastic. Why do you have to show that it could possibly be one of 2 or 3 or 10 people?
Because that's the storyline of the entire film.
Yeah, but that's the storyline.
Why
You
does it
reveal
need
the
to be
story in a trailer.
Why can't you go into the film going, oh, I like the Bridget Jones films. I'll go watch Bridget Jones's baby.
Yeah.
They need that thing to grip you in. It's
been what 12 years since The Edge of Reason. So they obviously people who went to see it originally are going to go see it, or people who have watched it on home release or whatever. But people new to the franchise might not want to go see it. But then
so they need that hook.
Yeah, but that's kind of a staple of Bridget Jones. It's always been the homely girl choosing between 2 men.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's just giving you that broad spectrum, but then that's not really spoilerish because the whole film is just going to be that's probably going to get sorted out in the first 10 minutes. The whole I've slept with both of them.
It's like don't judge me, but I was at
this
home
is a
on my own.
non-judging space.
I was at home on my own and I put Netflix on and I was thinking about all those Adam Sandler films that he got contracted to do for Netflix.
Yeah.
And
that was
the Cobbler,
bad investment.
The Cobbler was
Hey,
on
you
a list.
you say that's a bad investment, but Netflix,
he makes money out.
Netflix came out and said that they are the best thing that they did because people just watch them loads.
Because people love Adam Sandler.
Yeah,
for some reason. Anyway,
I did like his cowboy one.
Ridiculous 6.
Yeah.
I watched The Cobbler, and for once, I wasn't irritated by him. And he was serious.
Well, he's done some good...
And it was an interesting film. And it kind of flipped on its head and went a really different direction to where I expected it to go. And I like it when they do that. Like, if the trailer shows one thing, like Cabin in the Woods. Show something interesting enough to make you go, and then fuck shit up. Isn't it? Like,
well, that's what they should do, but then
fuck my shit up, fam.
They have to make the trailers when the film is not complete because
exactly.
So
they've got to use the bits that they've got.
Yeah,
it must be a very difficult thing to do, to be given a lot of scenes from a film
and try and make it compelling.
And I don't know how much access trailer companies have to the film production or the script or all these kind of stuff. It must be very difficult to be given like these scenes and go, right, what make that into... Because maybe that's how the Suicide Squad trailers were turned into sort of Guardians of the Galaxy style trailers, because they were like, oh, it's an ensemble cast of
I think
weird and wacky characters.
Well, I think we touched heavily upon this last week, but I think that was Warner Brothers.
No, I think the trailer company just made that.
And they made that under the instruction of Warner Brothers, going right. Okay, we've got the critical reception back from Batman v Superman. everyone thinks it's too
Too
dark.
dark.
Let's
Make
make
it
this
a bit
wacky.
lighter.
Make it
Yeah.
Which is why all of the posters and stuff, that's why they're very
Colourful.
heavily neon and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Because-
all of Harley Quinn's best lines are in the trailer.
It must be difficult for a trailer company to then just be given that. Like, basically, they're saying, here's what you get from us, make people want to watch it.
Yeah, here's 5% of the film.
Make people want to
Make people
watch
come
it.
and watch this.
Yeah.
It's like
It's like a challenge.
thinking about it, it must be really difficult. Like unless maybe, for example, with Rogue One, I could imagine actually maybe I don't know if they do, but like you could imagine Disney keeping things pretty close to their chest, and maybe they even do it like in house or something. At that point, then it's a bit easier, I guess. But when you outsource it to
Rogue One is a simple trailer. Felicity Jones, TIE Fighters, Felicity Jones, TIE Fighters, Felicity Jones, Rebels, Felicity Jones, Darth Vader. Done.
Yeah.
That's all you needed.
I mean, if the film's like that, I'll be happy.
Are all the Felicity Jones bit the same bit of Felicity Jones?
no different.
Got this one clip.
She's doing different things. Some she might be standing,
Standing
some
this
she
way.
might be
Yeah.
repairing an X-wing. Who knows?
It looks good though. It's
Yeah. Is everyone looking forward to it?
And inevitably, she will be
I don't
talking
know.
to a droid.
You don't know. Are you? So you
inevitably.
Haven't seen the trailer.
As
you haven't seen the trailer.
Well, no, it's every main character in whatever. Anyway.
You guys done?
But the,
Have you had the
but the
practical-
droid is Alan Tudyk.
Ooh,
I love it.
he does have 2 dicks.
Double it.
What is it with you and you're the only, this was a highbrow. The one episode we did without you was a highbrow.
Oh.
I just bring you back to
Conversation.
learn. That's
And
what I'm here for.
last week it was you. I listened to it this morning. The 2 instances of porn were both brought up by you.
Let's discuss Felicity Jones a bit more.
Sorry, you guys were saying?
Yeah, what you were saying that you don't watch trailers. You haven't watched the trailer for Rogue One. So how do you get interested in films then? Apart from me maybe mentioning them to you.
I did just show off the shop.
Thumbnails.
Just thumbnails.
That's how
thumbnails does it for you.
want thumbnails.
Oh,
That's how we get you interested in a film. Look at these very, very tiny images.
It's like
No,
film reel. Come on.
I read the blurb. I look at the thumbnail. Usually in the thumbnail, they picked like without.
But sometimes
I
the blurb
do-
can be more spoilery than.
I do watch. I do sometimes watch. You can't escape trailers at the at films unless you go in late. But I am subjected to trailers while watching TV or YouTube or whatever.
So you won't personally
I won't-
expose
I
yourself
won't-
to them.
I won't go searching,
Hmm.
but I will be the subject of
Yeah.
the media throwing them in my face.
Cool.
But you can find out what films are coming out regardless of, you just have to go on Cineworld and look at what films are coming out or
Odeon. There are other cinemas.
Cineworld chain. Yeah, okay.
And I
But-
kind of view. In Cardiff, £4 a day every day.
What's the one
Premiere.
in? Is it
Cinema
Premiere?
Club.
Is it
Premier Cinemas.
Premiere Cinemas? as well?
£2.
Is it £2?
Not
They
£2.
decreased it now.
£2 a seat, I think.
I thought it was £4.
It was £4 originally. That's
No, I
why
think
that's
that's-
why View went to £4.
That I think they've decreased it because View is
View is getting everyone back.
because View is down. They went down.
Jesus, £2.
Oh, you guys
That's
are going to
reasonable.
go try the 4DX
Yes.
at Cineworld.
Potentially.
Only once though. Only
Yeah,
only
try
for the
it.
Blair Witch, but
Yeah.
I'm going to take extra pants to that, to be fair.
because it's the
They've
next
got
evolution of
ticklers.
IMAX.
We've got to give
They
it.
got the
Yeah.
ticklers.
Yeah.
Give it. Ridiculous.
What? Just someone's
tickly
just
legs.
like they're just
Yeah, there's
they're
this thing
having a
underneath goes
cigarette
like that.
underneath the bleachers, just like right, okay, now's the time.
Yeah.
Like that. Give everyone
I've
a
always
feel.
thought that, actually, before I even knew about this kind of 4DX thing, I always in my mind imagined like ushers or like people specifically hired. Like if you really wanted that experience, people could specifically be hired, like all in black like ninjas, sort of like spray you with stuff or like tickle your feet. If it's a film with rats in.
You know what I think about that for
Yeah.
4X.
What?
It's going to be nightmare to clean up that screen.
Yeah, especially when they say that there's like smells that
Yeah.
it releases and like mist and stuff and water.
And
And
so
it's like,
you-
eating a hot dog, or you got some popcorn or whatever.
Well, yeah, that's
and you drop it,
shaking.
and you drop it, and then something's brushing you, and it's brushing ketchup onto your ankles, and then you get spurted, and your ice is in the air, and you get
Just
someone else.
comes out like they've been in an episode of Fun House or something. Like, just...
I mean, I don't know about you
Like,
guys, but that
popcorn.
sounds just like a normal cinema to me,
No, that's the cinema when you have kids.
which I don't. So.
cool.
So yeah, back to it. Like,
Next topic. Then,
Wow,
I
what a
guess.
transition, man.
Yeah. There was no segue there. There was a couple of clean segues last week. I didn't
You're
give me
like-
one there, guys. Like, so
Yeah.
you know, it's just, I'm doing the best with what I got. So
Talking about being spit in the face.
Dota 2.
Olympics!
Dota 2. Dota 2.
Dota 2.
The International, which is a big competition that Dota 2 has, paid out over £15.4 million in prize money recently.
is that the one in Germany?
No.
Oh.
I think it was in California this year. I didn't write that down. But the top team won 6.9 million, which meant over 1.5 million each. This is pounds. To put that in perspective, the winner of Wimbledon gets £2 million. So they were getting, they're getting almost as much as that. You brought up earlier, do you consider competitive gaming to be a sport?
Yes and no.
Cut that silence out.
It's a dramatic pause.
Yeah.
It'd be.
It's called dead air.
It's no, because there's no exertion or anything. But at the same
You
time,
need a level
Mental
of skill.
exertion.
you do need a level of skill. And
Well, yeah, but
If-
okay, so us going up against the people who play Dota 2. So I've never played Dota 2. They're obviously going to kick my ass because I've never played it. So
Just as
obviously
Andy
there
Murray will
is
probably kick your ass at tennis.
if
there is
So either
skill
way, you get your
needed.
ass kicked.
if shooting and archery is in the Olympics, I'm expecting Dota 2 in 4 years' time.
Not in 4 years.
Not in 4 years' time.
I mean, there's
the world is not ready.
Yeah, how
It's not that mainstream yet.
There's certain channels in America that do live stream game tournaments.
Yeah, definitely.
I think
So they are, and especially with like the invention of Twitch and every fucker streaming now, myself included. So it's becoming that more accessible thing, and it's easier to do as well. Like back on the 360s or the PlayStation 3s, like even further back, it was almost impossible unless you bought a fuck ton of kit to stream and then you needed a platform in which to go out. Whereas with both the Xbox and the PlayStation, with the PlayStation 4, you literally just push a button and you can
It's
be
so
recording.
easy now.
There's a button
with-
designed on the controller for it.
Literally, it's a shit.
With Xbox, it's a bit more convoluted, but you can snap Twitch onto the screen and then stream that way. So it's now accessible to people who have the games, have the games consoles. So the next generation of consoles, it will probably be so widespread that it will be. Oh, I can turn on the TV and watch someone play an Uncharted multiplayer or whatever.
Would it be like a sort of subscription service, just like you can get Amazon Prime or whatever on Netflix? Like you said, snapped onto the menu bar.
I think the companies...
Maybe you could in the future.
But then, well, you say that, but then Twitch is free to watch.
I was going to
Yeah,
say, I think the
that's
companies that have set themselves on the internet have set a precedent in terms of what people expect with Facebook. Like, Facebook has never charged anybody to use a social network, and probably never will, because if they did, then people would probably just go, well, you know,
Most people stop using
well,
it.
somebody else will start making one that is free, and then people will just flock to that.
what's the biggest what's the word for adverts and things?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where they get their money from. Yeah. So it's not going to be in the Olympics in 4 years.
No.
How long do you think? Do you
That's the
think
next
it would ever come to the Olympics? Video games, competitive video games.
When the robots take over.
Probably not the Olympics, but there will be sporting events for it, especially with like.
Why
the
not?
increase-
There was art in the Olympics once.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
once.
In the
For a significant amount of time, it was about 30 years.
1914 and I think the late 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's a piece of knowledge everyone needs to know.
I read it the other day.
Yeah, it was. We obviously read the same thing, but it's just...
You were here at the
Okay,
same time.
like if they wanted to test
It
it
was
out,
just before last.
Oh,
there we go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I know.
if they wanted to test it out, that would be absolutely fine. Whether it can be an Olympic level, I don't know. We just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But then,
well, there's a very clear winner in video games.
Yes.
That's the thing. There's no, sort of. You look at the gymnastics of them performing on the floor and stuff, and it's like, oh, that's very subjective.
but then I
Very
don't.
niche.
But then I don't see. So I don't see a gold medal gymnast or a rower. I don't see their gold accolade being worth the same as someone who can beat 32 people on Super Smash Brothers.
But now you're getting down into a very dark place of putting sports at different levels and stuff. Of sort of saying,
well, no,
if you want
it's
to
levels
shooting.
of skill. It's levels of skill and levels of exertion.
yeah, does the person who's shooting, who's literally just holding their arm up and pointing it, are they at the same skill level as somebody
As the
who is
people who have a
doing
whole-
whitewater rafting?
But they're two
you know?
completely separate entities. You can't.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Is like, if you're talking about exertion and everything, there you go. Shooting or archery. Archery's got a little bit of exertion with it, but that's all about precision and about aim.
Well, even
And
in the same sort of area, there's the swimming and diving.
Yeah. Well, that's why
They're all
that's why they're all in teams rather than to count the points rather than to oh look, I'm the best swimmer and swimming is better than shot put.
Yeah.
Well, the Olympics in itself is a ridiculous concept. So why not put gaming in it? Fuck it.
They put art in it. Why not?
Let's trial it.
Yeah.
4 years time.
Reading books.
But which game?
But so say-
good
Which game would
handwriting.
be? Well, it would have to be a competitive.
Do you think we will see it go into the Olympics in our lifetime?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think
There's
so.
gonna be robots by our lifetime. Our generation, we're gonna be the generation that has to survive the apocalypse.
Are we the last generation? That you're saying this is completely pointless. There's no point in us doing this.
We're just switching off the
Enjoy
camera
it while you
now.
can.
It's just like technology has advanced so much in the last 15 years.
Just while we're
alone.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So think of
The next
us
50.
and the kids the kids of the last 15 years. We have grown up on this technology. So of course we're going to advance it ridiculously within the next 60 years. So I think
That's some
like
Microsoft.
to ask whether someone playing a game will be in the Olympics within 60 years, then yeah. Obviously it's possible that it could happen.
Yeah.
But then so us creating the Cylons and then the world ending and
I'd like to see the Olympics all done in VR.
Or just like
Every
Nintendo
Olympian
Wii.
just plugged in.
He's switched a little bit from last week, hasn't he? I'm not touching VR. I'm not
If-
do everything in VR.
Everything.
Everything in
Plug
VR.
them in
It would-
and
it
leave
would
them
go-
for 2 weeks.
It
right?
would go to like
wow.
it would go to kind of Wally status where look at this really fit buff swimmer to like some just big guy on a sofa like imagine he's swimming
Okay.
and he's spraying with a bottle every now and then.
Yeah.
So he feels like
So this shows my ignorance of all things sport and Olympics. Is darts in the Olympics?
No.
Why not?
I'm sure it has
It
been, hasn't it?
has been, I
Yeah,
think.
right.
I think it has
Talking
been.
about
yeah.
big fat fucks who just sit around
Yeah.
doing nothing.
But chess has been in the Olympics as well. And that's
But
chess is there's no physical exertion in that whatsoever.
No.
You know,
But then it's a
mental-
game of skill.
Yeah,
It's a game
yeah,
of skill.
yeah. But so
Brain.
is
So darts, so's archery, so
Yeah.
shooting.
yeah.
So whether you're sedentary or moving, it doesn't really matter. That's not what the Olympics is
Not
about.
in the Olympics. The Olympics is
It's about what skill you have,
yeah.
and you can be the best in that area. So
Yes, but it's-
therefore,
yeah.
It's bringing the world together.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not. is
so
it?
therefore,
And
it
well,
might be.
It's
then.
the,
Bringing the world together to decide who's better.
yeah, they're like
Like Eurovision.
the speech.
Like for Eurovision,
That's
except
not the
that's
world.
just
And
Europe.
Australia.
And we never get any more
And
points
Australia.
anyway.
They were let in especially for the anniversary, and then they were like, "Oh, we can let them stay. Just let them stay in.
So
They'll be
just because
fine."
they're a part of the Commonwealth, where was Canada?
I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to come.
What about all the
It's like,
colonies?
fuck that.
All the colonies.
Yeah.
Bring Jamaica in. Come on.
Not that we're ever getting
Trinidad,
any
Tobago.
points. I mean, we were doing badly with points anyway, but we're never going to get any more points now. It's
No.
always going to be nil point.
Nil point.
It's just the precedent.
I love Eurovision though. It's awesome. But yeah.
We turned that into a sport. Could we do that in the Olympics?
Singing. I mean,
That's
it's
probably been in it.
probably not. I mean, like
No, this is X Factor.
Adele.
I was going to say, yeah, the amount of fucking X Factor. So what was it for? It was Pop Stars, then Pop Stars The Rivals, then bloody not American Idol, whatever the
Pop
British-
Idol.
Pop Idol. Is that what's it?
Yeah.
Pop
What's
Stars.
there was Pop Stars, Pop
the,
Stars Rival.
Oh god.
What's the
Pop
Academy?
Idol,
Pop
and then there was
Idol,
X
then it was
Factor.
X Factor.
And Simon
Fame
Cowell said, "Get rid of
Fame
all the other
Academy.
ones.
Fame Academy,
I'm
The
having
Voice.
one." X
There's a
Factor,
voice for
that's
kids
it.
now.
This is an amazing tangent.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
This is
Yeah, wait,
good.
I was going to say,
Start-
to finish
Yeah.
off this section then, what do you think?
Did it start with Simon Cowell?
No, I didn't start with Simon Cowell. I went on BBC News to search for Dota 2 because, like, I think that's a big thing. Like, the fact that it's, like, that much money
Huge.
for, like,
Yeah.
you know, there's nothing on there. Nothing about it at the moment. There was 2 articles and both of them did have no reference to it. What do you think it would take for competitions such as this? How big do they need to get before they get covered by the mainstream media? And I'm going to say covered by the mainstream media constantly because they did have Dota 2's prize pool from like a couple of years ago when it was actually quite big, but then it's increased every year and they just kind of ignored it.
How
Is
big
the
would it have to get in the way of Bake Off like the Olympics is?
I don't know,
Sorry,
like,
I
is
think-
it a UK event or is it in America?
It's an international
It's
event.
international.
Oh,
That's why it's called the international.
I think.
Well,
Actually, I don't even know it's called that because
well,
of that.
no,
But
the only information that I have about this is what you've told me.
I'm trying
Cool.
to. Trying
I
What
don't-
they do is
even
they
know- I
race
don't even
pink
know what-
elephants round a room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know what game Dota 2 is.
Yeah, it's a PC game. That's
Oh,
what
that's why I don't know.
I think. Well, they're all mostly PC games. League of Legends as well. I think that one might be bigger actually. The prize fund for League of Legends.
I don't know.
I think it might be bigger because I remember seeing a comparison between like the full Wimbledon stadium and then
how much is generated from those seats being sold? Is it or
those seats being sold, but also the size of the event.
Oh yeah, the events are massive.
They're far bigger than any other sporting event. Even boxing when you've got it in
The biggest
like
thing.
Las Vegas
Yeah.
and things, and they're all the way back just for this little arena. It's exactly the same. Whole convention centres rented out, thousands of people to see 10 people
sitting at computers.
sitting at computers with big screens as to what they're doing with like millions in the prize draw. So yeah, I think they're already bigger than most sporting events, but they're just not.
I think
They're
it's
just not recognised.
popular.
It
Yeah.
touches upon what the first question earlier. It was not everyone is a gamer, so it's still kind of in that niche kind of area.
It's
So
really
when
big,
it becomes
but it's niche.
yes, when it becomes even more mainstream than it is now, then that's when we start perhaps seeing it more
But
widespread.
In that thought, not everyone's an athlete. Not everyone's a sporting
It
prowess.
reminds me of that picture online.
But that doesn't stop you from watching it.
That small comic where
It's the same thing.
you know, someone goes to their roommate and they say, "Oh, why the fuck are you playing football on your PlayStation?
Yeah.
Why don't you just go and do it?" And then they look at the other person, they've gone off to sit in front of a TV
Yeah.
to
And watch
watch
football.
football. And it's like, well,
Well, I think watching streamed games is still relatively new. Like Twitch only came out, what, about 2-3 years ago, or became mainstream 2-3 years ago. So it's still getting there. Like the fact that you can get it on Xbox and PlayStation just to watch and on phones and stuff is a big deal. But then when TV as we know it finally changes, so we get rid of scheduled programmings and just have things like Netflix or Amazon or
just
like,
what you choose.
yeah,
Oh,
because
side
I
question.
don't watch TV, but then I will log on and watch YouTube on the telly, or I will watch something on Netflix. So I don't watch regularly scheduled programming. I haven't for a couple of years now.
Side
other than
question.
Bake Off, because
Bake Off is
Bake
nice.
Off is life.
Yeah. With you
During 10
mentioned
weeks
there
where I
how,
feel alive.
you mentioned how TV could
Funny.
change and get rid of scheduled programming, and yet scheduled programming does have a different flavour to it in a sense of when you see a film on, you'll be like, oh yeah, I'll sit down and watch that film because it's on
It's
now.
good to put on in the
But
background.
What would
I
it
don't,
be?
I
do
don't
you-
have shit on in the background now.
Do you think it would be good for like Netflix to have Netflix 1, 2, and 3, where they have a schedule of stuff that's on there? Why not?
But that's going
'Cause
back
it's
to like
non-demand
channels.
service.
Because that's Netflix becoming Sky Movies or Sky Cinema as it is now.
If
But why?
it's just like, but
It doesn't stop you from going to look for other things, but wouldn't it help you like discover things? Because on Netflix, you won't pick the crap.
Not necessarily.
But at the same time, I probably wouldn't switch on Netflix One and sit down and watch.
Because
What's the new thing out at the moment? The singing, dancing.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
Like the funk one.
yeah.
I can't remember what it's called.
Is it
Oh,
Dirty
that
Lover
one.
or something?
That one.
But I
One
wouldn't-
that comes up straight away.
Yeah.
The joy of Netflix and Amazon Prime is that if there's a movie you want to watch, you can start watching it, pausing it, fuck off, and come back to it. If there's a Netflix channel 1, you don't really want to. This is
Right,
why
but what if you had?
I don't want to
envisioned
come
it-
on halfway through.
Right, what if you envisioned it this way then? You have Netflix One, which has a schedule of films and TV shows and things like that coming on, and the idea behind it is for discovery. Because at the moment,
it's just Sky. That's Sky Movies.
at the wait. At the moment, Netflix is a pain in the ass when you're trying to look through it and just find something new. Because the way that they've done it is that you just can't really find anything. It's all like
That's going
repeating
into.
and
So
stuff.
they need to update their user interface.
But what if they have this? It won't cost them anything having a schedule of stuff because they can randomize it with an algorithm of some kind.
Why not
And
save
then-
all the money and just have banners along the top with Orange is the New Black? Pretty much what they have now.
But what I'm saying is that if you did have the schedule, it would pick out random things that you might not necessarily watch, and if you do come across it, you'd see it and go, "Oh, maybe I'm interested in that."
Because that's
You're very stuck in your ways.
no, like with
I don't like new things. I like what I like,
No, it's
and
not
I don't want anything
It's
new.
not that. It's you're adding a pointless user interface into Netflix. Netflix, the whole scrolling thing.
It's
yes,
there,
okay.
so you can just go and choose.
Yeah, the
something.
user interface needs to be updated, but I scroll through it. If I like the look of something, I will watch the trailer. I will add it to my queue. I don't give a fuck what the star rating is. I will watch it. But so you add in channels is just add in an out. So you're saying that I'm stuck in my ways. You're adding an outdated mode of television to something
But it's a way
has
of
become
discovery.
famous by not
At
doing
the,
that.
at the moment, I can't discover on Netflix because this happened at the weekend when we were trying to look for something to watch, and he was just scrolling through Netflix for 5 minutes trying to find something to watch. And it's like, well, if you just had Netflix One on that had a schedule,
That's because
and you
have
might go, oh, what's that one there? And you could have a button on it. You say you're halfway through the film. If you want to, you can just watch from there. But if you wanted to, you can do
Yeah,
it
that's-
from the beginning.
that's
on demand.
That's Now TV. You can do that on Now TV.
All you're talking
Has it got a
about.
schedule?
I
Yes.
think what
Oh, there
you're
you go.
talking
Because
about.
it goes.
I don't think he's talking about a channel. I think he's talking about a set
Yes,
playlist.
no, I know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but it
Rather than
looking at
anything.
it will be essentially a channel.
Yeah.
And that's going against everything that Netflix has become popular for. Yes, they need to update the user interface, but there are options where you can go, right, I'm looking for a kids movie and it'll say children's, or I'm looking for
Horror.
action horror. So it's just there's so much stuff to watch that it does get a bit frustrating to look, but then having channels I think just completely exacerbates it and is completely unneeded. And I think we come from two different areas of thought, because you will sit down and watch something on ITV2, whereas I won't. Cause as I said, I haven't had.
Because you don't have a TV license.
Well, that's not.
Each
That's a
their
good
own.
point. Really.
That's not a under the table thing to say. No, I don't pay my TV license because I don't watch
TV.
TV.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You can't sit down and just watch something.
But
Yeah, but I
You
did
don't
that. I
want
did
a
that
TV
out of
license.
choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was paying £12 a month for something I didn't use. Whereas if I will happily pay the £6-7 whatever for Netflix because I use that constantly. I find a series that I like and I sit down and watch it. I'll find time that way. But we're from different thought processes, so that might work for you. But I think the way TV is going, it's moved away from that. That's why things like Amazon Prime, Hulu, Netflix, even things like Crunchyroll, that's why they're adopting this new kind of way of streaming, is because that's how it's going to be in the future. HBO Go, like, yes, HBO is still the channel, but then people pay HBO Go to watch what they want when they want it. And yes, okay, like they are, like Netflix have been releasing Scream 1 episode a week. They did that with Orphan Black. Amazon Prime did it with Preacher, did it with Mr. Robot. So you can kind of
control it.
Yeah. So you are kind of getting these classic terrestrial things. It's just,
And you can't
I'm very much
waste 2 days.
I'm very much in the thought process of like the binge watcher. Like Kevin Spacey, when House of Cards first came out, he did this entire speech on the evolution of television and how he thought that everything needs to be accessible straight away, because that is what we are as a culture, as a people now.
That's what we expect.
We want access.
We expect
to it.
everything to be accessible to us, basically.
Like even
But
before,
is that a good thing?
I think it's making us lazy.
Watch the Kevin Spacey thing. Not necessarily, because if I want to watch House of Cards, so say.
Not in the context of television. I meant in the context of like general life. We're getting lazy because we want everything now, and we want to be able to get anything from any shop delivered to us, any food.
But then that's just
It's just technology.
Yeah, but like so that make us lazy. But people who can't go down the shops, it's probably a lifesaver for them.
Yeah.
Like what happened to poor old Doris who can't walk very well?
She can order
Talking
Domino's.
about Sharon and Doris now.
She can go online.
Doris has come along in a little walker.
Yeah, so she can't get
Doris
down the
is
shops.
Sandra's mum.
So the fact that Asda does deliveries is
Sandra's
a
too
complete
busy playing
lifesaver.
Candy Crush to go shopping for her.
Oh, just order it in, Doris.
Doris and Sharon, like
I'm almost up to 2,500. Don't just stop me now.
I hate my life.
I'm a gamer.
I'm a hardcore gamer.
I'm a hardcore gamer. The kids are asleep. Stop it now.
For that? That sounds really bad.
Doris, shush.
Get back in your cage.
Order it from Tesco or Asda or any supermarket that's online right now.
So I think you can. Yeah, going back to the point.
Yeah, I think the point is mute now. I think
You can get lazy from it, but
this
so I think what wasn't the original point about Twitch? So,
I was going to say,
Dota
this
2.
episode needs to be called The Tangent.
yeah,
Because we haven't talked about anything that we're meant to. No, we have!
we've talked about the Olympics. We've talked about Rogue One. We've talked about Dota 2 for very short periods of time. So we'll talk about Sausage Party now.
Tangent. Yes, sausage party.
And
I
it's
can't
alleged production issues.
I've watched the trailer.
So production issues, but then it's apparently one of the highest rated, like critically rated, R-rated films of all time now.
Let me just say what's going on here, basically. So it's a great success in the US.
Yes. Okay.
Because it has a production budget of $20 million.
And it looks amazing.
And its first week has made $36 million in box office.
But critically, it's got really good.
The point what I want to discuss is the fact that there was an interview with the heads of the studio that created the film, the CGI characters, basically, Greg Tiernan and Conrad Vernon. And in this interview, they touched on the fact that the film was made for $20 million when you compare with Finding Dory, which costs over $200 million. Basically, these two guys used to work at DreamWorks, I think it was, and they set up their own studio because they saw how much money was wasted in Hollywood in terms of sort of CGI and effects and things like that, and they thought they could streamline it and make it much better. So that's why they only spent $20 million on this when they Finding Dory $200 million. After this interview happened, a lot of anonymous comments started appearing on the article from possibly ex-employees of the company, revealing possible production issues, suggesting unpaid overtime, work being reassigned if refusal to work overtime, threat of termination if they refuse to stay late to hit deadlines. During the time the film was in production, 30 people left the studio due to stress, and their names were struck from the credits. The IMDb page shows 83 people worked on the film, only 47 are credited. This has been seen before with Life of Pi, where effects studios went bankrupt before collecting their Oscar for their work. With films relying more and more on visual effects, and by the sounds of it, people being worked harder and harder, where does the breaking point come with this?
Well, if you say you can do it for cheaper, you're going to try and squeeze every penny out of every person that you possibly could. So
Business.
But then you still have to have a ethical work
Yeah.
environment.
you do,
You've got to
however,
policies and procedures.
policies,
in place.
procedures,
But then, like, it's
people.
okay. So you can make a good film for 20 million, but that doesn't mean you have to be a dick about it.
Yeah.
Which is from the sounds of it,
Should-
it sounds a bit dickish.
Yeah, I mean, they. To be fair, 20 million compared to 200 million, it's a big jump.
Yes,
Should,
but then I'm guessing they're not going to have like with Finding Dory and Finding Nemo and stuff. The brilliant thing about that is that yes, you have the characters, but then you have this entire world behind them, and then you spend a lot of time. What I'm guessing is going to happen with Sausage Party is that they're going to have a single background. So like the supermarket, and then it's going to be very static and
Yes.
The main focus is going to be on the characters.
yes,
basically.
which
It's
I
gonna be a
suppose
backdrop.
for a film like Sausage Party will be fine.
Hmm.
But then we've got to a point where film is incredible, and things like Finding Nemo. I think the first time I saw it, obviously, is completely mind blowing because it is, and Monsters Inc. like Sully with the fur and stuff. I mean, I was 11 and I was blown away by it.
Still blown away by it now.
Yeah. But I mean, even at 11, it could still affect me that way. So then, yes, okay, it's cool that you can spend only 20 million and make apparently a very, very good film. But then, because they're sausages. They're very, very easy to animate. I would
With
have
eyes.
thought
Yeah.
compared to
You could have done.
James P. Sullivan.
You could have done it in cartoon rather than CG.
CG's cheaper though.
Yeah,
Possibly.
more people know how to do it, so it's
Yeah.
like it's.
You could have done it in stop motion.
Yeah.
Get hard
Yeah, well,
animation on
hey,
it.
It would come out with the same effect.
You laugh, but Fantastic Mr. Fox by
That was excellent.
Wes Anderson is a
That
very,
was
very
excellent.
good film. Yeah. And that was stop motion.
I did watch that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
Apparently not true to the book, but
No.
I like it.
Not at all.
Yeah, okay.
I visited the locations when I was in Bath
Oh, very nice.
because they take actual locations from Bath.
Ooh, delightful.
Yes.
Tangents.
So, do you think in this situation then, the two guys are, they've got a good idea in terms of if there's a lot of wasted money going on in Hollywood, they should try and
definitely trim the fat. Just
Yeah,
don't
but don't
be
be
a
an
dick.
knobhead.
If
Yeah.
there is, yes.
Yeah.
However,
Just be nice to your
if
staff.
there is,
if that 20 million, 200 million,
yeah.
if that 200 million's going on like anti-stress rooms and whatever, and you've cut all that,
well, even if the 200 million is paying the people for overtime,
well, even
Yeah.
that, yeah.
then that's good. That's worth
It's
it.
okay, we saved loads of money on this film. Oh no, there's watcher demand for a Sausage Party 2, but no bugger wants to work for us because of the way we treated the last lot of staff.
But then this kind of goes into like kind of a Deadpool kind of area. Like they could go, oh look, we've made this film for only 20 million. Let's make an excellent amount of sequels. So then every other bloody studio is going to think, oh, we can do this by cutting a fuckload of corners, which
Yeah.
they shouldn't.
Yeah.
So I think just don't
So
be a dick. Spend your money wisely.
Don't be a dick. Work for Disney. Done.
I would kill to it.
I mean, where does the breaking point come in terms of there's more and more films coming out every year, and like I said, they're more effects based, even if it's small stuff going on, really. And if all this sort of overtime is being worked with, possibly,
I think people.
I think even with the 200 million budget of Finding Dory, like I bet people did long hours for that,
but they got
to
paid
get
for it.
And they were
Yeah,
probably
they would
happy
have
doing it.
What happens a lot
They wouldn't
in
come and complain online.
yeah, what happens a lot with creative types is that people expect. I'm going to say us because half of us are writers.
If you want to call us that, yes.
Yeah. Well, like creative types, a lot
I
of
wrote
people.
this.
Yeah, but I'm
No, you
talking,
copied and pasted it. You told me.
Some of it.
but the things like artists, like there's always these things where you see on Reddit or Tumblr or DeviantArt, and it's never work for free. and a lot of artists always get the
if you never do it for free.
Yeah, but they get the right. Okay, draw me a picture, and if it's good, then we'll do something for you. Which is the wrong thing. You should, like I said, you should never do anything for free. So we don't want this precedent where these artists.
It's expected.
The fact that they're working overtime and not getting paid, that's not that shouldn't happen in any job.
Yeah.
But
unless they're sort of being paid through the nose already.
But then it depends on their skill level and how.
Yeah.
Because if I say I was a lot older, I had been writing for 40 years for a magazine, and then you come along, fresh-faced 18-year-old, I would want to get paid a lot more than you because I've got 40 years worth of experience.
However, if we're doing the same thing,
the bean counters look at that and go, "Hey, this guy is going to cost us a lot of money.
Yes,
this guy's going to cost us not much money,
and
he's going to work twice as hard because this guy's older and wants to take his pace with everything."
I'll work overtime for nothing.
Which is a bad precedent
to try and get your foot in the door, sort of thing.
But then people start taking advantage.
Yeah, then a company is gonna fill their entire staff with people like you, young, fresh-faced 18-year-old, and then just have these very unethical work environments.
Yeah, just because it's in a creative industry, it doesn't mean the next shouldn't be like the retail store that pays people for overtime. Well, it doesn't matter what level you're at or what industry.
Going on a bit of a tangent, Matt. Like Apple,
tangents galore.
Yeah.
Like Apple. Look, how much better do you think the working life is for people who work in the Apple store to the people that actually create the phones? Like you don't see suicide nets hanging up in the Apple store, but you do in the workhouses. And that's because
I don't think you can call them workhouses. They're factories.
This is going to be the one that gets taken down.
So Apple aren't going to sponsor us, even though we all have Apple products.
It's too late for that. They're all over the shop. There's one there, one here, one there, one there.
Or literally all of us have. But that's the thing, because they've managed to get away with these poor working conditions, and it's because they've gotten away with it. They're still doing it.
So it's only bad when you get caught.
No, it's bad all the time.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
You're always going to get caught if you're going to be bad.
Because Apple have been caught out with this. Everyone knows about the unethical treatment of its workers, but everyone still buys their products because they're pretty.
Yeah,
myself included.
So why? A bit of a tangent.
Wow.
bit of a tangent
because
I'm an Apple fanboy.
Yeah.
Why did Apple get singled out when those factories were getting used more by Samsung and Sony?
Because Apple are a more widely used range
than Sony and Samsung.
Well, having worked in a phone shop, more 80% of the people who have the money will buy an iPhone.
But it's not just phones though. It's like other stuff as well.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm just using.
I'm going to cut that tangent off because,
it's dark road.
Yeah, not very.
You can cut this out. You can cut this out and post. It's fine.
No, it doesn't get cut. There's a start and an end point, and
just give it to me, and I'll fucking end it.
Last thing. Final Fantasy 15 has been delayed from September to November. Is anyone bothering to play that?
No.
That's the episode, everybody.
I've played the platinum demo, so when the game goes down to about 15-20 quid, I might buy it.
Oh, actually, I did see the trailer for it. Yeah. No, I won't be buying it.
Okay, but this is like all my questions that Tom loves so much that are not questions and don't have answers to them. This isn't really...
I want to know who wins.
Yeah, there's no... We'll get scores.
Okay,
there'll be like QI. There'll be random scores at the end of it. You won't even realise what's going on.
Wonderful.
But the timeline of Final Fantasy 15 goes as such. It was first announced in 2006 with a concept CG trailer.
But then that was before
for the PS3. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, because didn't 13 come out in like 2009 or something?
I don't know. Yeah.
Because I remember that going on around the university time.
Yeah.
Is it like a Dead Island kind of deal? Where they had a website
Great trailer,
saying that it was
awful game.
They had a website up because I was in my Dead Rising fangirl phase and I heard about this Dead Island, and I thought this is going to be fantastic. And they had a website saying, we're kind of working on the website at the moment, but we're hoping to get it out by such and such year. And then nothing happened for about 5 years.
Well, no,
It wasn't. The trailer came out, and then nothing happened.
Yeah, it wasn't really sort of given a release date or anything like that. Quite late, but basically it was first announced in 2006 with a concept trailer, and then between 2006 and 13 there was just sporadic details. It was like hardly anything, even cancellation rumours in 2012. A demo of an early section of the game was announced in 2014. Episode Dusky, was that the thing you played?
No,
there was another one as well. Yeah,
I played the Platinum Edition or something.
Yeah, there was that one as well. That was so Episode Dusky released in 2015. Promotional campaign ramped up in 2015, and a release date of September 2016 was announced. In August this year, it pushed back by 2 months to November 2016. Questions: two-part question. Can a game that was announced 10 years ago, A, live up to the hype built in those 10 years, and B, generate enough sales to justify 10 years in development?
Depends on the game.
Okay, take this one as an example then.
I don't know, because how long was Duke Nukem in production?
Probably the same amount of time, yeah.
And that did not live up at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything with an extended period of time is you risk it not living up.
Just as with films.
Yeah.
I mean, with obviously they would have started with PS3.
Yeah, it was originally for
and
PS3.
then they would have had to redevelop everything that they started with the PS3 to the PS4. Remaster it and everything.
But then there has been Final Fantasy games continuously in that time. So this game, yes, may have been in development hell for the last 10 years, but there has been a Final Fantasy presence. And Final Fantasy is a big enough franchise that people will still go out and buy it.
So you're saying this is an Assassin's Creed 2, not a Brotherhood?
Well, they've completely overhauled the game mechanics for this one. So like, I still have very, very fond memories of playing Final Fantasy 6 and 7 back on the PlayStation 1.
Turn-based combat.
So I would trading off. So Christ, when was that? Like 1997, if maybe even earlier.
Yeah.
So I still have memories going back to then of this franchise, and I to be honest, I haven't played much in between, just because when the games came out, I didn't actually have the console they were on, and then when I did have a console that they were on, it was Final Fantasy 13, and then I played that, and it was awful. But then again, that shows that it was at the front and center of my mind throughout that time, because they kept releasing games. So if it had been silent for X amount of years, like Duke Nukem, then maybe it probably wouldn't have done as well. But now the fact that it's the 15th game in the 15th of the numbered games, the amount of spin-offs and apps and remasters and everything.
Yeah. So I guess maybe then take a different example of sort of Half-Life 3, where that hasn't had
everyone laughs.
Everyone's
ongoing joke.
What's that? Yeah.
Although there has been a banner at Gamescom.
That's quite funny. Yeah, I saw that today.
But I think
that was a good joke. I think they could have done better with that joke as well.
That's a game where it can be an ongoing joke for as long as it is or needs to be. But when it comes out, people are going to piss.
Because that's
Firefly season 2.
Well, I was just about to say that it's got kind of the Firefly curse that it became so critically and cult loved that you can trade off that forever.
Yes,
because it's all the cult nerds who have played the game going, oh my god, this is going to be amazing. Whereas something like Final Fantasy doesn't have that kind of it has a cult appeal, but it doesn't have the Firefly kind of cult appeal.
It hasn't had that big long gap, like you're saying. It's had that bit. Those bits, the drip feed of things come in. So Half-Life 3, there's no way that could live up to the hype that's been generated by people over the years.
Well, I have very, very high. I can't even think of the word. I'm
regards for Valve.
Respect, maybe for Valve, because I was wondering how they were going to top Portal 1, and then they released Portal 2, and I still jizz every time I play that. It's
Messy.
It's messy, but it's.
And you said I brought the tone down.
Well, I said earlier on, I'm a very weird level today, so it's. I'll bring up the porn and everything.
Oh, okay.
Let's get it out of the way with.
So based on alternate between the tones. Based on that, I would think that they would make an equal, if not better one.
Okay.
If and when.
You probably know that it would be quality.
Yes.
If they did.
Yeah. Because
Maybe
they're
they
kind
just
of.
need the time
You
to make
think
it
like they're not going to release it until they
know
it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're not like a Ubisoft who just spits out like anything they can.
Oh, Assassin's Creed.
Literally. Oh, let's add more stuff. Let's add more stuff. More stuff makes it better.
And then to the
Valve
point
aren't
where
that.
it's broken, and you've got this like.
Yeah,
alien
and then
looking
it's a big
character,
feature when they remove shit, and it's like, well,
and it should be the other way around.
yeah. But I think Valve have a head on their shoulders, unlike a lot of the companies out there today. So if they are making it secretly, then it's going to be a very, very good game.
So back to the question. No, I won't play Final.
No.
That's fair enough. I don't play the games, but I thought it was interesting that after such a long since the announcement,
It's an interesting scenario.
to 2 months before release, to 1 month before release. Sorry, because it was meant to come out in September, and then push it.
But then,
right at the last minute.
But then
No Man's Sky it.
No Man's Sky, Uncharted, Jinx.
Everything that they think is going to be ready at a certain deadline isn't
never is.
ready at a certain deadline, so
And
they need to push it.
Do you think then developers should underestimate and over deliver? As in, sort of like they should say, okay, we think it's going to be ready in September, but let's tell everyone it's November.
Yes.
And then you could be like, oh,
Done.
actually,
Fallout
it's
4.
coming out earlier.
Yeah.
Fallout 4. How amazing was that when they were like, E3, here's a trailer. Oh, by the way, it's out in 3 months' time.
Yeah.
No. I mean, literally, like it could be a long development like this one where
but
they announce
people
it earlier, but then actually they'd be like, right, it's meant to come out in March, but then on December of the previous year, they'd be like, oh no, actually it's come out in January. We got it ready earlier.
Yeah.
It's much better. Like like we knew.
Yeah, they should
It's
definitely.
But then,
delivering.
there's a downside to that though, because then people might think, oh, the game's rushed.
But
Because
then those would all evaporate once you play the game.
Plus, they
If
play
it's
the
a
game
good
and
game.
experience it.
Yeah.
And then you'd have the article saying, yeah, actually, we were expecting it to be.
but then some
January,
people
They
just
give
said
you
March
an
to give us
We
explanation.
the...
gave ourselves that cushion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but then some
Love
people will
that.
go, oh, I wish it had 2 more months. You're never going to please everyone all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
isn't
what- that's
it,
what
is,
it
is
feels
it
like.
better though to
It's a nice surprise to have a game early.
Yeah.
But then whether that surprise, if that keeps happening, whether that enjoyment would cease,
True.
and whether it would piss off more fans than it would please.
Because don't you think that pushing it by 2 months right at the end pisses people off more though after waiting 10 years?
Well, if you've waited 10 years,
If
You can wait 2 more
If you've waited
months.
2 years, if you've waited 2 years for a game and it gets pushed, you still
I mean,
get
if
pissed off. It
Val-
doesn't matter how.
You got frustrated about No Man's Sky.
yeah, I'm a very impatient person.
Yeah.
But then if
Yeah.
Valve,
So what if No Man's Sky? What if they, instead of pushing it by 2 months, had brought it forward by 2 months?
I would have been very happy, but then I would have been at the level that I am now, where I have the game and I'm playing it. It's that
Or you
happiness.
finished the game. It's 4 months on now.
Yeah. Can you finish No
that's
Man's
true.
Sky?
Actually, yeah.
That level of enjoyment would only be for the cool, I get to have it early. End of enjoyment.
It's not much of a high.
Life.
It's not much of a high. It's
Yeah.
just that's a nice surprise.
Little nice surprise. But it'd be better to have nice surprises rather than nasty surprises.
Maybe
Yes.
maybe that goes back to
that could
the,
be like everything for the world. Just like the world should have nice surprises.
Yeah.
Maybe it goes back to when we say we need everything at our fingertips straight away and we need instant gratification with stuff, and it's gotten to a point where maybe you're looking forward to something so much, and when it's happening, you're not in the moment. You're like, okay, that's cool. You know?
Yeah, we are
that's cool.
we are a desensitized generation,
Yeah.
so we don't have
Like we're
emotion.
waiting and waiting, and then you play, and you're like, yeah, okay, that's cool.
But I think that's with anything,
Yeah.
any kind of anticipation.
Yeah.
The euphoria wears off.
Yeah. Like, you're not going to be, oh my god, this is the best thing ever the entire time you're playing it, unless you're playing GTA Online. But
because that is
which
amazing.
has now gone back to number one in the
yes,
Yeah.
since Cunning Stunts has come out.
Yeah.
Because
which is amazing.
it's a
Which
fantastic
we
game.
also have to play again soon.
Yes, we do.
I need to edit that video actually.
6 months later.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's it. That's all I got.
Done.
that's what
Yeah.
we got.
Take us out, Tom.
Well, that was fucking weird. Join us next time.
Tangents, yo.
For more hilarity. Hopefully, we'll be in better moods.
Less depressing.
Less depressing.
Workhouses. All kinds of stuff is going on.
Workhouses, sex slaves.
Well, the fact that
Wait,
we're
when was the
Jones.
sex slaves?
Felicity Jones again. Jesus Christ.
Letty Jones, sex slave.
Oh, just
There you
throw
go.
Aslan on it.
Put that tag. I'll put that tag on YouTube. That surely get some views, isn't it?
Felicity Jones.
sex slave. Throw Aslan on it. Join us next time.
Cool.
Bye.